Yeah, hi, good evening, everyone. Today we have a live session along with me and Bhavya San. So, by the time Bhavya San joins from Asian Photography, let me tell you about myself. Uh, I'm Sajjan Kumar, Managing Director, Nikon India. I joined Nikon in 2008 and by now completing almost 12 years with Nikon. A journey indeed been very fruitful so far with Nikon, and no doubt there are ups and downs. The way right now we are facing a very challenging situation of COVID 19. I wish everybody, including all our customers, whether it is internal or external, they stays in good health. And my special regard to all the corona warriors. So whether it is the medical staff, our doctors, nurses, or support staff, at the same time the police personnel who are helping us a lot, as well the people who are staying inside and helping the country to come out of this difficult time. uh, at the same time, we have seen that government has taken various steps to or countermeasures during this COVID-19 situation. So we believe with the time it should get right and things should come back on track. So let me see, like, let us see the Bhavya San from Asian. So please bear with me till the time Bhavya San joins. Yeah, nice to see a lot of messages from you, and good evening, a very good evening to all of you. So I will try to answer your messages, whatever I am getting till that time. And post that, we'll be discussing more about the business situation and what all imaging industry, or I will say we as a company, passing through. Yeah, can we have Bhavya San? Yeah, section. Yeah. So are we expecting soon the Bhavya San? Okay, okay. So let me answer the questions by that time. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. So I think there is some time for Bhavya San to join us. So till the time, let me answer your queries or questions, whatever I see. Yeah, many of the partners are maybe writing after seeing me after a long time. So I'm also equally excited to read the message as well as to interact with all of you. This is not a normal situation we are passing through in our lifetime. So I hope how soon we can come out of this COVID situation and come back on track of the business and the normalcy in the life.
Hello, Sajjan San. Hi.
Yeah, hi, Bhavya-san. How are you?
Hi, how are you doing?
Good,
Great,
good, good,
great.
good.
Thank you.
So till the time
Well,
you joined us. I was just talking to the viewers and I was telling about like this situation, this timing, as well as what all we can do. Although currently it's
absolutely.
very limited that as a citizen we can just follow the government guidelines
Right.
and help everyone to come out of this difficult time.
Understand. Okay, great, great.
So all yours.
Sajjan San, thank you so much. Okay, guys, I hope I'm audible. And firstly, welcome to the sixth episode of Expert Talk with me, Bhavya Desai, and Asian Photography, of course. And Sajjan San, thank you so much for doing this. You're the first industry person that we've actually spoken to on this Expert Talk. So I'm really excited, and I'm sure a lot of the viewers also super excited to know a lot of things, especially about the industry.
I believe, Bhagasan, whatever we do, and if it somehow helps the industry, I believe that is then objective is fulfilled. So I'm always
Absolutely.
available for that.
Super. Okay, so guys, before we start this conversation, you guys know the drill. That please ask any of the questions that you want, and we will try and address as many of them as possible. And before I take on some of the comments, guys, I'm sorry, I'm seeing a lot of you actually saying that please turn off the comments. I can't actually do that. The reason is because we are also taking comments from our viewers as well, because it's a great opportunity for us to address that as well. So that's why the comments will be on. Also, we will be sticking to English for this conversation. In case any of you want us to also speak a little bit in Hindi, then do let us know in the comments as well. So Sadhu-san, my first question is that I understand that Gurgaon is now, of course, under. We'll start with the basic stuff. Gurgaon is now
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
under the orange zone, and I've heard that the offices are kind of starting to reopen. Is Nikon planning to start its operations and reopen the office soon?
Bhavya-san, let me share this news with you. We already opened the office. We
Okay,
opened on this 13th of this month. So after the complete cleaning and sanitizing the office, and although it's very few staff, first we have opened only for our customers. So we have opened our Gurgaon office with limited service staff, as well as we opened the Bangalore office also. So these two offices
okay,
which falls in orange zone or the areas where we can be operational. So these two offices we started. Yes, with a limited manpower and mainly for service and other urgent work where employee who is putting up nearby and he can come to the office.
understand. Okay, so as you can see, some of the questions are already coming in, and obviously the first and the most obvious question, which is the first question that I also have, is that how is this lockdown going to affect the imaging industry and Nikon?
Uh, Bhavya, it's very difficult to measure the, you can say, impact. But yes, I think we have to be cautious. Imaging industry per se was passing through a bit challenging time already. Even before this, I will say, because we have seen even technology transition also. The compact camera, which was taken over by the smart devices, and post that we have seen the DSLRs and now the addition of mirrorless. All these transitions we have witnessed together. And same, I will say, the people who are keeping a close watch on our industry. But coming to this COVID situation, I believe this year is going to be very challenging. And I will sum it up that this is a year to survive and sustain. So it is not that you can go over aggressive or something of that sort. But first, I believe we should come out of this problem as a society, as a human being. I think we should be out. And this first time we are witnessing a problem which is beyond India. I am not saying this is a India specific phenomena or any country specific. When we see that across the world this kind of situation is happening, so actual impact we have to still measure. And these 2 months we can say almost business is standstill. There is nothing. So impact is for sure going to be there. And coming to our industry, I will say there are two kind of verticals. Mainly there are professionals where we see uh, the somebody who is from wildlife or fashion or nature, and plus the wedding kind of professionals. So no doubt the events are not happening. Neither the professionals are getting the opportunity to have that kind of professional shoot, or even the wildlife sanctuaries. So that kind of opportunity they are not getting. When it comes to wedding, no doubt there is an impact, because April to say first half of the June is a wedding season in India. And we are a country which is normally enjoys a lot of celebration, including the wedding, and a lot of, we have a cultural heritage. So that has almost not has nothing has happened, and I don't see that even after say 17th, which yet the announcement or more information from government side is awaited. But till June, I don't see that much of the action on event front or wedding front. So no doubt there is an impact.
Right.
Mainly events or weddings are postponed to the later half of the year, which will start now post Diwali or post festivity from November, December onwards. So that kind of impact is major. And when it comes to hobbyists or amateurs, yeah, we are in lockdown situation, so they get a limited opportunity to shoot. But no doubt, I have seen that we are doing a lot of activity online, and we see a lot of, you can say, interest from the user side when they join our such activity. So I believe they are trying their level best, and some momentum is there, but it is limited to, you can say, a particular location or area where you move, or within the household you are trying something new to shoot.
Right, right. Okay, that's great. I mean, I also feel that definitely the industry is, I think there's going to be a lot of pressure in terms of leadership as well, around this time. As you said, it's going to be about survival as well. So, which means that, do you think there'll be added pressure, especially under this current scenario, especially being the head of one of the most known brands across the globe, to make sure that things fall back on track, but not just that, as you also said, to survive as well.
Uh, I doesn't mean when I said the survival, I will cite survival in terms of industry and in terms of, say, for the sheer shake of the human being. Uh, there is no extra pressure, but yes, there is a challenge to help the organization to come out of this situation.
Right.
Uh, Normally, you can say easy things you can handle maybe easily in the life, and not much of the skill sets are involved in that. So when situation is bit challenging in front of you, it makes the things bit interesting also. So no doubt
Absolutely.
the contribution made at this stage will be, I will say it will remain more meaningful, and it will be more of a memorable. Apart from what, when it comes to pressure, I say this is only positive side of it. So whether when we interact with our regional office or head office in Japan, so they are equally concerned. Not only say India as a subsidiary, but all the subsidiaries across the world, and they are doing their best to support us and help us. So even we as a company has contributed towards PM Care Fund also. So to come out
Right.
of, say, or to help the country in this COVID-19 situation. So we are one team. So I don't see that it is a kind of pressure in this situation, but no doubt, I think we should be capable enough to handle this situation.
Understand. Great. So I will come back to actually this question about working in terms of synergy between the head office and the subsidiary. Of course, I think at this point of time it is super critical and very important. But before that, in continuation with the conversation that we were having, as you said, that your office in Delhi as well as the office in Bangalore, which are the two safe zones, has really opened up. There are a lot of viewers who are actually already asking us about the service centers, and I did want to come to that a little later, but since there are a lot of them who are already asking this, are the service centers already operational? Because there are people who actually want to send products for servicing and things like that.
Let me touch you two of our branch offices, which I mentioned to you, Gurgaon and as well as the Bangalore.
Bangalore,
Apart
right?
from this, we have a ARS, which is authorized repair centers. So seven of them already operational. I will say Chandigarh, Ludhiana, Dehradun, Chennai, Coimbatore, and even Raipur or Bilaspur kind of thing. And even nine of our Nikon collection centers are operational.
Right.
So first thing which we have made operational is the service. So we are already, you can say 18 location we have made operational when it comes to service.
Right. Right. Okay.
So they
Now,
can, sorry to just interrupt you, they can
no, no,
easily
please,
see
please go
all these
ahead.
things on our website. And I will just suggest to take all the precautions when they are visiting our office. Although we have written the guidelines, even we are following the strict guidelines also, because safety is the utmost importance at this stage. So even I request, and we have put it on website also, to take a prior appointment for the customer so that they don't
Right.
face the situation where there are many customers who are already waiting for it.
Understand. Right. Now, coming to the conversation in terms of the lockdown as well, and as you said, from a Nikon perspective, I'm sure that there were a lot of objectives and goals that the company had for this year. What are the sort of adjustments that you've had to make to those strategies, to those ideas, considering in the challenging scenario that we are?
Business plan wise, yes, we have, although we are still studying, I will say, but we have tried to analyze the impact, how much we have to scale down. Uh, Scale down only in terms of, say, the numbers which are feasible in this situation. That's why I said that this year is going to be of sustaining the position, not maybe going over aggressive in the market. So, and at the same time, we can we'll try to see how we can make say operations smooth in this situation. So,
Right.
like even this lockdown period, we are continuously in touch with all the employees, and I will say I'm blessed to have such a committed employees at my side who are helping us a lot. So whether it is you can say financial year closing, like finance accounts team, or our
Right.
service team, or sales marketing team, or technical team, which are doing a lot of activities around. So one more or most important thing for us is that we should stay in touch with our customer, and that's what
Right.
we are trying to do. So impact wise, yes, we are still studying the actual business impact, but we don't want to, you can say, lose out on our consumers and their confidence. So that is, you
Understand.
can say, most important.
Right. In terms of now, I mean, I understand all of those challenges, and of course, let's be realistic. Across all industries and across all businesses, I'm not just talking about imaging, we are absolutely going to expect losses, and there are going to be numbers which we're not going to be able to achieve. But realistically, I mean, what do you think the expectations would be in that respect in terms of percentage? How much percentage of numbers in terms of drop as well as revenue do you think we can expect? I mean, if you just generally give us a ballpark idea.
Bhavesan, I will say it should not be taken as a conclusion, but if I say this first quarter itself, which
Right.
contributes to around, you can say, 20%, I don't think that any of the company or organization will be able to achieve the number, or maybe they might be remain in the, I will say, single digit figure. And this impact of corona will last, or maybe somehow will impact other quarters also. So I
Right.
believe some normalcy should return around festivity, and then positivity should spread. But still, we have to see that. We are still far away
Understand.
to finally conclude the actual real impact, or to reach to any kind of conclusion.
Understand. And how much time do you think realistically it'll take, even post the lockdown is lifted and everything comes to normalcy? Is there a way that you think that the companies, especially, I mean, even Nikon for that matter, will take to recover that loss or whatever the impact has been created in terms of both numbers as well as revenue?
I think any commenting on this will be maybe going too far at this stage. So
Okay.
immediate, you can say, action will be if normalcy return. Probably still there will be restrictions on the travel, restrictions on the gathering. So I don't see that the kind of maybe we have activities of calling people for Nikon School workshop or activities. I don't see that happening in near future. So it will take time. So I
Understand.
will not jump that okay how or how much, maybe it will be maybe post few months. So let us
Understand.
carefully maybe watch the situation.
Understand. Okay. Now coming to the product development and launches side, I mean, I know that a lot of the manufacturers have had to put that on hold. Do you think that the current scenario will impact and things will get delayed because of this sort of a scenario? Because I know that Nikon also was planning to do things, especially now, for example, in CP Plus as well, but that of course, had to be called off. So, given this scenario, what do you think the situation is?
Uh, Bhavyasan, on supply chain side, if we analyze the situation, no doubt there is an impact because you source components from their respective OEMs. And when I touch that across the world, there is an impact of Corona.
Right.
So those OEMs are impacted. So component suppliers are impacted. So that result into say, no doubt there is a challenges on the manufacturing side. Then thereafter, what we see, the supply chain or freight cost is also, it has gone multiple, you can say, now there is no rate, is the rate kind of
Right.
situation.
Right.
These things have to be eased out with the time. So I don't see that that kind of normalcy will be happening very soon. At the same time, keeping our customers' confidence, like product like D6 and all, which we made the announcement. So yes, there is some delay, but let me assure you that we'll be launching within this month.
Oh,
So that will
wow.
be happening. So, and at the same time, the recently launched products like D780 was there or Z50 for Indian market. Yes, this has made certain impact that once you launch the product and these kind of things, it happens. It's unfortunate, but this is the, you can say, reality today. So we have to see. I think we have to do a lot of legwork uh, to reach out to our customers for these products.
Understand. One of our viewers actually is asking a very interesting question, which is world around Amaya, and he's saying that what do you think will be the market for high-end value products in the coming year?
Uh, if I talk of, say, if I understood correctly, high-end means mainly full frame. So whether full frame in any kind of system, whether it is a DSLR or I will say mirrorless kind of product, no doubt that market is increasing in the double digit kind of figure. And I see a lot of, you can say, positivity around that market or those customers. Because we see the professionals, I will say in our country is a lot of mix of it. They starts from say entry level to mid range also, which gradually with the time should move up the ladder. So I'm very positive for high end products at least.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Coming to what you were actually saying about mirrorless and of course DSLRs as well. What are your thoughts on the whole debate which has always been around and which is of course about the DSLR versus mirrorless? If you can just give me a little idea of that, then I'll also have a follow-up question once you've addressed that.
I will not say there is a debate on this mirrorless versus DSLR. We as a brand take it as a, you can say, multiplying the strength because both
Right.
the system has their own benefits and their own consumer base and the confidence of customers in handling both the systems. So somebody who is comfortable with the DSLR kind of system, and there is a over the period of time a customer makes a lot of investment on lenses and all. So that is the reason you have seen recent past we have D780 which is having say video specifications or features as good as the mirrorless. So
Right.
we are making that consumer experience enriching in both the categories, and that's what our intent is to multiply the impact rather than you can say fighting in between say DSLR or mirrorless. So we
Right.
want to offer the best system in both the technologies to the consumers. So I don't take it you can say fight between them, but yes, we should both the products have their own positives or you can say there are the benefits attached to it. Like with mirrorless, you have a you can say ease of video shooting or form factor is maybe much smaller, very easy to handle, easy to carry. And even on those like that front, we have introduced like already three products, including our
Yes.
APS-C Z50. So I see we'll keep on adding the lenses also over there, and already we have
Right.
13 lenses, and we'll add up more. So
Right.
my confidence or my suggestion goes for both the categories. Even at the same time, we have introduced 120, 300 lens for f mount also.
Absolutely. So
So
in fact, that's one of the questions that I wanted to ask and address as well. I mean, I know that there were a lot of new lenses which were planning to be announced in this current year, especially when it comes to the mirrorless portfolio. What do you think about that? Do you think they'll still be on track and the development is still on track and we'll still see the timeline in that respect itself?
timeline, there will be some, you can say, delays, but planning is on track. So I touched earlier also, we are committed to our consumers.
Right,
So already we have 13 lenses, and by the year end, we'll have close to 29 lenses, which we already announced on our portal also. So
right.
the kind of lenses and what kind of zoom or you can say fixed kind of uh, range it will have. So that will be there.
Understand. Coming to what you were just talking about the DSLR and so for the coming future, I mean, say if I take a ballpark of a say year, uh, what can we expect from Nikon in terms of focus? Do we still expect Nikon? Of course, it goes without saying that there'll be a lot of mirrorless cameras which will be launched, of course, by Nikon and a lot of the other manufacturers as well. But do we expect a lot of focus on DSLRs as well? Do we anticipate that there'll be a number of launches in that segment as well?
Already, Bhavyasan, I have touched two. One that during photo fair
Yes,
we had our D780 and D6, which is like very soon we'll be having it or we'll be able to even check at your end also, because as we send the products to all of you. So our focus currently is on both the categories. No doubt mirrorless is the new segment and where more introduction of products or it can happen, as you already touched, or you can say addition of lenses that will be there. But considering say our kind of country, I will say there is a lot of you can say numbers or strength goes behind DSLR as well. So both the categories will go you can say hand in on like hand in hand, uh, depending upon the consumer's choice. Yes,
right.
some of them who are shooting say more of video or more video centric, they might go for mirrorless kind of thing. Somebody who is into you can say more still and less video, he might go to DSLR kind of system.
Right.
And any of the event or you can say wedding where in India it is on very large scale. It's not a you can say matter of one or two people who can cover it, because event is
Right.
of such a magnitude. So we see like many photographers, videographers, they are carrying you can say DSLR as well as the mirrorless. Both I have seen.
Right.
So I'm quite hopeful of both the categories, at least within this year. When you talk of a 1 year from now.
Right, right. But do you think in that respect, I mean, naturally the numbers in terms of DSLRs as well as we've seen, and this is documented that things are kind of slowing down, it's stagnant, or in some cases, especially developed markets, there is degrowth as well, and of course, mirrorless is kind of increasing. So do you think that that's the system for the future where probably at some point of time, or maybe in a couple of years, we might see slow phasing out of the DSLRs? Or do you think that in the higher segments, the extreme professional segments, we will still have DSLRs which will still be launched maybe 2 or 3 years from now?
I think you touched two things. One is that absolute number of consumer or uh, how much is you can say numbers of imaging industry. So that is no doubt is there is a challenge, and that's where the mass customer, which has moved out say earlier from compact or off lately, what we can anticipate that maybe from entry level DSLR might reduce. So I'm not saying that okay this will this shift is you can say uh, it's a technological shift as well as the customer's preference shift, I will say, which is happening
Right,
with the more penetration of the smart devices and all. But when you go for a proper device of where you can shoot and you want to have a lot of control on the images or the videos you want to shoot, then certainly you might go for a DSLR. But absolute numbers, they can be under pressure when it comes to entry level DSLR. Or you can say maybe there will be some penetration of mirrorless, which is currently you can say single digit kind of numbers when you talk of entry level DSLR or mid range of, you can say, consumers. So it's very few. So in that segment, there could be a slight penetration of mirrorless, because on high end, yes, mirrorless or DSLRs are neck to neck.
Understand. In terms of what you were just mentioning about the video, and do you see a lot of confluence of these features? I mean, if you remember earlier, DSLRs were primarily being used, of course, for just stills, and naturally, a lot of people would use that for video. But now, with the consumption of video increasing phenomenally with a lot of these platforms as well, do you see a shift in that paradigm shift in that preference as well, with more features being packed into DSLRs, catering to video consumers as well?
That is there. I will say first that video consumption has increased a lot. We see a lot of vloggers and all, lot of content creators, and they prefer a device like Z50 kind of thing, because they are, you can say, one-man production system, everything. They themselves talking, they themselves creating, and they themselves are posting. So everything is done by one individual. So then that kind of system is catching eyeballs from the customer's point of view. At the same time, whatever DSLRs we are bringing now are equally rich in terms of video capturing, like D780. When I said that when it comes to video, it is as good as like our range of mirrorless. So we are improving a lot on video features, or ease of how to shoot a, maybe easily to shoot a video. That also we are improving.
Right. Understand. One of the questions that our viewer is asking is Vikram. Basically, he's saying that should we expect Nikon to get a lot more aggressive when it comes to e-commerce?
Oh, maybe he is from e-commerce, or maybe I don't know aggression. What is the definition of aggression? But
They
our
mean in
products are
terms of
available.
right, right,
Our products are available. So whether it is a direct engagement is there or not, it doesn't matter. And our intent is that our product should be made available to the nearest place to the customers. So we have 1200 odd retailers. We have
right,
Nikon experience zones. So we are trying hard to make to ensure that our product is available very much near to the customers. So whether it is
right,
LFRs, UC nowadays, Reliance, Chroma, everywhere it is there. And even
right.
online, maybe some of partners, it is available. I don't see that Nikon is not available over there. So
Right,
engagement
right.
wise, maybe that is a different topic or different point.
Understand. Right. No, so what he meant was that in terms of marketing as well, or in terms of availability, would Nikon be a lot more aggressive, especially now considering this sort of a scenario being offline, being closed?
Uh, Digital as a platform is the only platform where we are doing a lot of promotion now. So I will say digital medium is just not only that online websites, or limited to those kind of things. It is a lot of things beyond that, and such platforms where people are posting a lot of still images or videos, like Insta is where we are talking, is one such platform,
Right,
or
right,
YouTube video, or whatever, wherever the content creators are posting such things. Yes, we are
right.
doing a lot of activities, and you can assume we will remain aggressive on this front, because nowadays people are going digital. So one way to stay in touch with our customers is this.
Understand. Right. One of our other viewers is also asking a very interesting question. Now, I already know the answer to this question, but of course, we would still take this. So she's saying that our Honorable Prime Minister, of course, Modi ji, has been really encouraging and promoting Made in India. Do you think that there is a possibility of any of the imaging brands to ever set up shop here to actually do something which will be made in India?
I'm not sure about others, but when it comes to Nikon, I believe it is total domestic requirements which matters, as well as which all areas we can cater from here. So it is certainly a domestic requirement and total numbers, which if you put any such kind of plant, or if you're planning to have such a facility, it matters. So which currently bases our study and bases the requirements we don't have. So if demand grows in the future, you never know. But currently, maybe, sorry, we cannot.
Understand. Right. One of the questions actually is by Can Guy Sancho, and that's quite interesting. Is that it's about the Nock lens, which is the 58 and we've reviewed it, and I mean it's just amazing. So he's asking that do you re sorry. Okay. He's asking that was it really unexpected to come up with such a product, or you just wanted to know which genre of photography this lens is really targeted to?
I think you already tested, Bhavya. So what are your views?
Yes, it's a beast. It's absolutely great. But yes, I mean, considering it's one of the most expensive lenses in the market, and of course, it does deliver that sort of quality, I think our viewers would like to know that which is a segment that Nikon is kind of targeting with that sort of a lens.
Yes, we wanted to have first of all, and there are our loyal customers who wanted to have such a lens. When we have created Z mount, I believe we have to somehow reflect that what all are the capabilities attached to this new mount. So this lens is one such reflection that this kind of say bright aperture is now possible,
Right.
and maybe the kind of low light performance you get from this lens, it is amazing. So even many of the high end, you can say wedding professionals like Ankita Asthana, she loves it. So
Right.
this is there. So this lens maybe usage is happening. Yes, no doubt this kind of product comes at certain value that is there. But yes, we have a that high-end customer segment who is uh, you can say preferring this kind of lens as well as they are liking it.
Right. Coming to the weddings bit that you mentioned earlier as well, a lot of the photographers that we've actually interacted with during this time, they do expect and believe that the weddings now, which will happen post this lockdown, will be very low key. There'll be lesser people, or probably as you were mentioning as well. Do you see that as a major impact to your business?
I think we have to still measure it. No doubt this 2.5 month season is gone. I will say from April to June, what I touched earlier. And now season which will be after Diwali, maybe it will be quite heavy. Depends on the dates and all because maybe in India we just go for those auspicious dates, you can say, where wedding happens. Uh, yes, when it comes to spending and when it comes to gathering and all, I believe we are going too far. We have to see how country comes out of this COVID-19 situation, or by then maybe what kind of form remains. So maybe it all will depend upon that.
Right. One of the questions that actually some of our viewers have already asked, and I also understand from a lot of my sources in the industry as well that manufacturers are kind of post a lockdown planning to increase their prices. But I guess there is a lot of anticipation from a lot of the customers, including Nikon customers. Can they expect the prices to come down post the lockdown is lifted, or will they remain where they are, or probably vice versa?
In one line, I will say we'll try to keep price competitive, and as much as you can say loss we can absorb because rupee has already moved say around 10% in this lockdown period.
Right.
So almost you can say around 70 level to it has touched even more than 76.
Yes.
So that way it is a you can say very hard question and difficult question for us because we know maybe how much we are burning on it, but we'll
Understand.
try to absorb as much as we can. And
Right.
immediate, I will say we don't have any plan of touching the price, but we are keeping a check on the situation.
I'm sure that's great news for a lot of the viewers of Nikon as well, and of course the customers as well. But now, in this scenario, where as you mentioned that in this sort of situation, do you think then in such cases the headquarters should probably absorb some of the loss in revenue as well, or does it completely, since most manufacturers, Nikon is like a subsidiary, so they would absorb the complete hit?
I think Bhavyasan parents always take care of the child or their children's. So no doubt that is happening. So when we talk of say production or when we talk of say supply, I think everything got impacted of this COVID-19, and everyone is trying hard to maybe do their best in the given, you can say, time frame, and whatever these restrictions are there, they are trying. So I don't say that when I uh, said that we will try to absorb, it is not only when I was talking about Nikon India, I was saying
Right.
Nikon as a brand.
Understand.
I know
Okay.
the situation is not easy neither at production side or you can say head office side or even at you can say India side.
Understand. Right. In that was one of the questions that I wanted to ask is now that the rupee is almost touching the rupees, I mean 76, sorry, the dollar is almost touching 76. What is the sort of impact that it creates on your business? If you can just give our viewers that sort of an idea, because I think a lot of people don't understand how even 1 or 2 rupees makes a huge difference to the business.
I think whatever percentage rupee depreciates, it is an immediate impact because we import everything. So if we are importing the goods and the moment the dollar converts into the rupee, you are losing. And at times even this, it happens that when you imported, say rupee was favorable or maybe stable, but when you have to pay, maybe depends upon your credit terms with the head office. By the time it depreciates, you can say by 5%, 6%. So that is a financial loss kind of thing. So that happens. So I think you understand very well when you are running such a corporate or company that financial loss and gain because of such rupee depreciation, uh, it is quite, you can say, alarming the way it has moved. But we have to see how it will behave in future because this situation is not a normal. So where rupee has, you can say, moved. So we have to see how in the future, near future, it will be.
Understand. Right. One of our viewers is asking, which is Photowala, he's basically asking that is Nikon planning to do any community engagement activities other than live workshops once the lockdown is lifted?
I think we have to be very careful, first of all, to come out of this situation. So currently, you can say even thinking or jumping into any kind of community activity is slightly going far.
Right.
So we will see once the situation returns to like normalcy, and we will communicate.
Right. Another viewer is asking, which is basically Bumba, which is a funny name to have, but great name. They're asking that any plans to allow online businesses to also provide or have warranty support as the shops are closed now. For example, I think I understood what his question is. His question basically is that there was a drive in between where a lot of the manufacturers, were pushing for more sales through their zones and not really pushing or encouraging customers to buy products online. And there were some warranty issues or challenges which were also faced at that point of time because of those. So do we see that being sorted, or any products which are basically purchased online as well, is complete warranty support still on offer to those customers?
Bhavyasan, we promote that customers buys from our authorized retailers so that product is intact and proper warranty is offered. If you are buying from any other source which is not advised or not a reliable, so difficult to comment upon. Uh, if product is touched or if something has happened to product, it's we can't comment upon that. At the
Right.
same time, to provide the service, I touched in the beginning of our discussion also that we have made 18 locations already operational for service. So we understand the customer pain also when it comes to service. So we are making service operational.
Understand. Right. Coming to the mirrorless side of the things which we were discussing, and because some other question came up, uh, Nikon has been relatively different, when it comes. Okay, you're back. Hi, Sajjan. Am I audible? Yes, I understand.
Yeah, yeah.
You're audible now. Am I audible? Am I audible to you?
Yes, yes, Bhavya San.
Okay,
This
okay,
time
okay.
when I'm
Right.
this sorry, maybe I was touching something else. This time when I'm seeing you, maybe you have gained some weight. Maybe because of lockdown
Well,
or something else.
well, no, not really. I think reality, but I assure you that I'm very much the same. What you met me last, which is hardly. Okay, you're back. You're back, sir. Audible? See me, or can you? Okay, Sansan, you're experiencing some. We're experiencing some technical challenges, so kindly just bear. Sansan, can you hear me now? Am I audible to you? I don't seem to be. Okay, I'm just gonna end the. I can't hear you, so I'm just gonna end it and I'm gonna reconnect with you. I'm just gonna reconnect. So guys, just hold on, please. So guys, can anybody tell us whether you can hear us or anything? I'm just trying to. Hi, Sansan. Can you hear me? Okay, Sansan, I'm audible. The viewers are actually telling me that they can hear me. The viewers are. Can you hear me now? The viewers are actually telling me that they can hear me, but I think there is some audio challenge from your side. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to jump out and I'm going to come back again so that Sajjan can just re-add me so that we can have the audio back.